Shalom. First and foremost, all praise and glory is unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harachakwadash. To belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, blessings, and much love unto you. Hopefully, elect shalom unto you. It's your brother Shaquat with a video. I just want to tap into this more image of the beast, more setup. Okay, they're doubling down, and you can say what you want to say about it, but at the end of the day, Great Millstone been prophesying to you people about this implant and this system setup. Okay, and so I'm going to bring up MTG. Okay, and I got the fair use popping off. So it'll be on the screen as you see, and I'm going to play it because this is going to happen whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. And if this is such a major system that they're implanting this deep in the game, okay, the prophets are out there teaching, and you waking up to who you are. This is martial law and unrest, insurrection, and so on and so forth is going on. Seditions, all these things are happening. Okay, racial tension, all this is happening. Natural disaster. Okay, all of this stuff is happening, but this implant is nowhere within the scriptures. Okay, so without further ado, let her speak, and then I got a few clips, and then I'll speak on it. I'll quote a few other precepts, but more so, this is just to show you again that this is rolling out.
What's happening today on July 17th in 2025, when no one is paying attention, no one's talking about it, everyone is in blind rage about the Epstein files, and I don't blame them. However, right now, what is being voted on, what's happening today on July 17th in 2025, when no one is paying attention, no one's talking about it, everyone is in blind rage about the Epstein files, and I don't blame them. However, right now, what is being voted on today in Congress is the entire setup, groundwork, and entire infrastructure being laid to move from cash to digital currency, and
which is part of the image of the beast. Okay, you go into Revelation 13 Challenger, it said that the image of the beast should both speak. Okay, and this is it coming to life and speaking. Okay, this is it. This is the groundwork for the MOT to the B. Okay, and a lot of people know that. Okay, a lot of people understand that that's what this is. A lot of Bible Belt, lot of left, right wingers. Okay, understand that. All right, but keep watching.
Number one thing that is not happening today is a ban on a central bank digital currency. This means the ability for the government to take control of your digital bank account where all your money is and turn it off. And this is why I'm so upset and it's not being talked about. Steve, I was the only no vote on the rule last night. And Congress set a record last night, and no one's talking about that either. This was the longest vote held open for a rule in history. And it finally shut down sometime around midnight because there was a deal made, and the deal will not be honored. It was a deal that Speaker Johnson made, and he said that he would put a ban on central bank digital currency in the NDAA. But let me tell you something, that's going to get stripped out in the Senate, because what they told us all week long is the Senate does not have the votes to pass a ban on a central bank digital currency. What's happening today on July?
Okay, and matter of fact, there's another piece of this video. I'm going to see if I can find it. Because she said she read in the book of Revelation. She even brought that up. So let's see if I can find that right quick.
7 to fully control your digital currency in the future. And I'm voting no to this today. I don't know if there'll be any other no votes on the Republican side, but I'm voting no to this because I'm a Christian and I've read the Bible and I believe what Revelations 13, 16 through 17 says. And
okay, clearly speaking of the mark of the beast, MOT to the B, the micro C hip. Okay, I call it the implant and so on and so forth. Okay, so you understand this is the groundwork for this right there. And being a believer, she sees someone or just understands, I don't know what the case may be, but she knows that this is it. What's wrong with some of you regular old Christians and you so-called Israelites that can't see it? Like the IUIC and different other groups. Anyway.
I just cannot vote for a future system that will do that.
And that's enough. Okay? I can't vote for a system that will do that.
But
okay, so while I got a few things open, we understand that this is the system that's being laid. And she said it. She knows that that's prophesied in the Bible in Revelation the 13th chapter. All right? And we know that that's something, that's the greatest prophecy that still needs to come to pass. When I say greatest, I mean like the most impactful. Okay? So, and you go into the word charagma and charax and grapho, you go all the way down to the root in the blue letter Bible, you find the answer. Okay, and that's what this is. It's about information. So that leads me right to another situation. We've already explained what Palantir and all of that's doing. Okay, what is it? Gathering all the data and putting it in one centralized place and organizing it so someone can look at the information and just have access to it all. But what does this say? Just 7 days ago, Trump administration hands over Medicaid recipients' personal data, including addresses, to ICE. Okay, including your address goes to ICE. And they make sure all of this is given to them. Now you can say that this is all about, immigrants and all of that. But now they're even talking about citizens, that are under criminal situations, so to speak, can be. Dang, where's that other video at? Basically, you can be deported as well. As a matter of fact, I think I know where it's at. Bear with me.
News. Trump just banned all permanent residents from leaving the U.S. If you are abroad now, you can't come back. This isn't just about illegal immigration anymore. Trump's new executive order affects everyone. Green card holders are stuck in the U.S. News. And all permanent residents from leaving the U.S. If you are abroad now, you can't come back. This isn't just about illegal immigration anymore. Trump's new executive order affects everyone. Green card holders are stuck in the U.S. Legal residents are locked out. Your family vacation becomes illegal. The New York Times leaked the White House draft. 45 countries are now on Trump's red list, implementing extreme entry restrictions on their citizens. Even if they have valid visas, even if they have lived here for decades, 8.7 million permanent residents, suddenly unable to visit dying parents overseas, can't attend their weddings abroad. Trump claims this is to protect American jobs, but economists say it's economic suicide. Tech companies lose foreign talent. Hospitals lose specialists. Universities lose top researchers. The real question that bothers everyone, is this about security or is it killing the American dream?
Okay, but to explain what it's about creating the image of the beast. Okay, being able, as MTG said, locking you down and cutting your cash off if deemed, undesirable. If your social credit score gets too low. Matter of fact, let me grab that part of this. Okay, this is what we have right here. This is from End Time Headlines, right? It says how the government plans to monitor, score, and control you through digital wearables. This is all part of the system and the image that they're building. Okay? And who's building it? The beast, those EU NATO nations. All right? In the USA as well. Okay? This is what's happening in real time. We're watching it being constructed and built and even implemented in real time. You're wearing a wearable, a smartwatch or whatever right now, Apple Watch. There's even evidence that your AirPods are listening to you, and your boss can actually take and see what you're listening to at work. Google it, okay? That was out a week or two ago, talking about that, okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it, because some of this stuff is coming to me now, and just showing you, like, all these things are setting up this image and this way of life that people will begin to live by. And when they're living in this system, they don't even realize when you have all these Alexas and so on and so forth in your house, mapping your house out, and realizing what your playlist is and listening to the type of music you're listening to. And we know that these TVs and devices have these cameras on them that can watch you and monitor you in the house. They see you in your private moments. They see you, family moments, so on and so forth, man. And this is just the system that's being set up to have complete control. And I always use certain movies, but like one of them is Demolition Man, okay? And she was like, I want to have sex, John Spartan. He's like, well, okay. He goes there and it's a complete digital situation. What they didn't directly tell you, but indirectly they told you or showed you in the movies, they had implants already. Okay, that's why he knew how to knit. And then you look at Simon Phoenix's, which was played by Wesley Snipes. You look at what he was programmed in his implant with, and it had all types of weapons and martial arts and tech coding and breakdown, and had all of those types of things that he can use as a great assassin for the system. Okay, for the image to take out Edgar Friendly. All right, so this is just an example, but you look at it, and this stuff is coming to pass in real time. Biometrics, but this is just the wearable level. We're getting to that digital implant, which we see the voluntary part with Elon Musk and Neuralink and all of this. Okay, they're doing all these different situations. I mean, they're coming out so fast you can't even. I'd like to put them together and bring out a lot at once. Some of them you miss. They slip past you before you can get them into a video. The title says, this is an article on Zero Hedge. It says, published on July the 16th. This is titled, The Wearables Trap. How the government plans to monitor, score, and control you. This plan, promoted under the Make America Healthy Again campaign, could transform wearables into instruments of surveillance, eroding bodily autonomy and privacy. Okay? Which we even talk about pre-crime from Minority Report, where they can read your thoughts, and they have the cog and the different like the three people that prophesy, the chick and the two guys or whatever, that sit in the thing of water, and they send out a bunch of images, and they read and determine the images, and now they can figure it out, put the pieces of the puzzle together, figure it out, and now they can stop crimes before they happen, right? From that movie. Interesting movie anyway. But when you really start to put this thing together, you see that that's what they want, and they're doing it not with those three individuals, okay, that's prophesying that way through the images. They're actually doing it through surveillance, through digital means. Which when we've been into this word, digital technocracy, and all of these other situations, mainly ruled by technology. Okay? And it's digital. Okay? Not just that you're a slave to the microwave or the TV. Now you're a slave to the smartphone, to the cameras, to the computers. Okay? And more so because, and the surveillance cameras, because they're watching everything you do, and when you try to go online and do whatever you're gonna do, it'll permit you, or restrict you. Okay, and eventually, with the implant hits, you scan that or wave that over, and then things happen that in that fashion. If you have access, you can get in. If you don't have clearance for that, you can't get through. No different than Elysium. We bring all these movies up so you can begin to paint a vivid picture in your mind about how real this stuff has become, because they've given you the images in movies to give you that lack of imagination something to look at. Okay, we reference them for that same reason. Okay, plus they're prophesying on the left-hand side to show, hey, we told you, we showed you that this was possible, and now that we're doing it, you knew. You've seen the movies, you knew. And you'll be without excuse because the prophets are telling you. All right, well, I'm not going to read into that further, but you can look into that, okay? Okay, we got this one. ICE moves to shackle some immigrants, some 180,000 immigrants with GPS ankle monitors. Okay, when Jake will figure it out, but when Jake figures out how to get rid of those monitors, this is old technology. The new technology will be when because this will become a norm. And once this becomes a norm and Jake figures out how to manipulate that situation, because you can be doing this, but you're sitting at home ordering DoorDash or whatever else, but you're now empowering others through videos or influencing others to go do other things, to do your dirty work, so to speak. We see this in, I think that was Iron Man 3 where they had that actor do it. But anyway, we see these situations that are possible, and we understand the message we push and what we're doing, even on social media, different platforms, okay? But we see it as waking up the elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. They see it as treason and insurrection going against the system, trying to bring the system down, which hand in hand does line up. But we're doing it on the behalf of God, so to speak, okay? Saying it in this way. Not on the behalf of our own agenda. We're not over there doing work of T's and ISIS and so on and so forth. We're not doing that. We're doing this, okay, as a petition to the Heavenly Father to step in and send His only begotten Son back from the heavens to rescue us. Not for us to make carnal attacks anywhere happen, okay? So that is the message. This is about our petitioning to the Heavenly Father to come and rescue us from this system that's being built around us, that's imprisoning us even further, not only physically, as it's still in the physical stages, but it's getting to the point where it's becoming a mental, and eventually it'll become spiritual once you get that implant within you, okay? Because you're going to choose this beast and his image and take his mark within you, declaring that you've given allegiance and obedience to the beast. Okay, so I got one more. Here we go, right? It says China is in it too, right? It says China begins experimenting with merger of man and machine in pursuit of powerful new AI. So they've already been, silly people, had great jobs, good paying jobs to program your replacement, which is AI. AI is replacing you. Okay, it had me rolling. I just saw, you see a lot when you go through these brothers. These brothers drop videos and you do your own searching and social media and different videos and scrolling. And you see something where, I'm trying to think who said it, but they said it's amazing how people were so outraged. It was Plies. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. It was Plies. Okay, here it is. It says Say Cheese, right? Instagram page. It says Plies is wondering why people aren't as outraged over AI taking over jobs as they were about immigrant workers taking American jobs. Some Americans love to blame immigrants for taking American jobs. Where's the same outrage for AI? Well, she makes a very good point. Where's that same outrage? You program them to take your job away from you. Okay, so now you're going to be squeezed by the system to be forced into this system, into this image of the beast. Okay, to give obedience and allegiance is the word I want. Allegiance to the beast and the system of the beast. Enough to take that implant within you. And a lot of you say, I ain't taking it. Which is easy until you're hungry, you're starving, you're ostracized. We see you people fold, for the JEB 5 years ago. So how much more when they play hardball with you, okay, when this thing is made mandatory? All right, so let's go into that, and that's pretty much all I have. But let me go into Revelation 13 and show you that that's what this badge is talking about from Revelation the 13th chapter in the blue letter. Now, before I get it, I just asked ChatGPT, who is the beast speaking of in Revelation the 13th chapter? Is it nations, and which nations if so? Right? Now, it goes into this part, but here's the interpretation. The beast is widely understood in biblical scholarship and Hebrew Israelite doctrine as a symbol of a political empire influenced by Satan rising after Rome. The beast is Rome, particularly papal Rome, Roman Catholic Church, political power, rising from the ruins of pagan Rome, right? It says the 7 heads can represent both the 7 hills of Rome, that's not true, and 7 successive kingdoms, not true. Okay, but it's a certain conglomerate. But this where it said the 10 horns is getting into something real. The 10 horns are seen as European nations like that of Rome's fall, like the Franks, Anglo-Saxons, Visigoths, etc., which is on point. The wounding, that's off. Okay, second beast. Let's see, spake as a lamb, the first beast. Okay, institute the mark. Okay, image of the beast. And I hadn't read this, I just asked it though. Let's see. This is seen as many scholar prophecy teachers as a new power rising around the time of the first beast's fall, late 1700s. That's before that, but let's see what else we got. Anything good in here? Supported by European nations that formed after the fall of Western Rome. Really, it's the Western Europe. Okay. And then it even goes down to Daniel 7. Okay. They know to link those to Daniel 7. Okay, and that's this is just me asking a basic question. Now, if I asked a more detailed question, I can get a more detailed answer. If I would ask it, if with the European Union and NATO nations were that first beast modeled after the Roman system, which was the first beast and it's the second beast. If I asked it those types of things, let's see, why not? So I asked it the question, okay? It said, give me Revelation 13 as if it was speaking of the first beast as ancient Romans and then the second beast as the NATO EU nations, right? And it had the first beast as ancient Rome and the second beast is the NATO EU nation power structure, right? Layered prophecy, geopolitical systems, right? But it says the first beast, key identifiers, and they have scripture, right? And the right scriptures, 1 through 10, right? It says, rising from the sea, emerges from a multitude of peoples. Yet that sea is speaking of peoples, 7 head and 10 horns, same symbolism in Daniel the 7th chapter and Revelation the 17th chapter. Body like a leopard, feet like a bear, mouth of a lion. This is going into the ancient system, right? This is actually pretty good. Okay, not bad. Okay, let's get into this one though. The second beast. It says, rises from the earth, comes from a more stable and less populated region. 2 horns like a lamb, speaks as a dragon, starts peaceful, freedom, democracy, but turns oppressive. Okay, not bad. That's similar how we break it down, but the 2-party system as well. And it becomes oppressive like draconian as we break it down, right? Exercises power of the first beast, supports Rome's agenda, makes an image to the beast, creates a similar system of control. And that's everything that we've been reading about in this lesson so far, right? Causes all to receive a mark, economic and religious enforcement system. Okay, and it's so good that they implant it into you. Okay, it says, that's breaking that down, but that's really what I wanted. And they going into more, and there's more into it. Bake as a dragon, through, though rooted in democratic values like the lamb, these powers now support global surveillance, economic coercion, the Genius Act, okay, with that stable coin, okay, CBDC, and align with Rome's religious influence, especially through the Vatican's growing soft power in Europe. Make an image of the beast, a recreation of the church state model. See how the European nations allow the Catholic Church influence over policy, or how global alliances push universal morality, climate laws, digital IDs, religious tolerance agendas, right? That mirror papal ideas. Okay, and this, we break it down, but this is not far off. Okay? It says the EU, along with NATO, align global institutions like the IMF, World Bank, and UN help enforce economic sanctions and digital financial control, precursors to the mark system. And look, they know the mark is a system, and there's a mark, particularly, which is the image. The system is the image, but there's a mark that which is an implant. When you go into Charagma, which I'm going there now, okay, to Revelation 13 let's see if they got anything else in the blue letter. Why this fits biblical prophecy. Daniel 2 and 7 and Revelation 17 show Rome's kingdom extending to the last days. 10 horns, kingdoms from Rome give their power to the beast. A perfect picture of modern Europe. Okay, the harlot rides the beast equals the Vatican, influencing global political systems, especially Europe. Actually, that's America. Okay, we're watching how this harlot of the virgin daughter of Babylon is actually controlling the NATO EU nations, and some of them aren't with it, but their influence is by here and by the small hats in the Middle East. Okay, for that code to be understood. Okay, but anyway, they're doing that, and so they're controlling how this is moving. That's why he's sanctioning everybody, friendly and ally and combatant or whatever. All right. See, breakdown. I don't want. All right. So let's just go to the blue letter. Now we have plenty of breakdowns. I even did a few of them with this chapter. Okay, I always like starting at 15, particularly, but that image, because it highlights the image of the beast, which is that surveillance system. Even GPT says, okay, and we were right. Now, but the point is coming into this 16th verse, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell. Why? Because they have to use that digital coin. Okay, whether it's stable coin or something else, it's going to be on a digital CBDC platform, connected through Palantir, through all these, or a company like it, but we just see all of these companies that are there today. It can be, so don't be like the prophecy is wrong if another company brings out the same stuff Palantir is doing. If another coin pops off, it doesn't matter. We're showing you that this is a system that they're setting up, regardless whose name's on it. It could be Meta, it could be whatever. It could be Amazon. It doesn't even matter what it is. Okay, the name of it ain't important. The system and what it's designed to do is what's important in the prophecy. Okay? That no man might buy or sell save ye at the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now let's go into that word mark. That's all you got to do. Right? You go right into it. You come down to all these words. Okay? To receive a mark. Charagma or Charagma, right? Charagma, however you want to say it. All right, and what does it say? A stamp, an imprinted mark. The mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, theme, carved, sculpture, graven work. Okay, graven work, and that's what this is. This is a graven work. You go deeper, Karax, through the idea of scratching a stake or pale palisade, meaning something that's jammed into you, staked into the ground or staked into your flesh, like a syringe would do. Okay, that's what that's breaking down, the trench. Okay, and then you go to the final root word, which is graphos or grapho, to write with reference to the form of the letters. Okay, basically the information that'll be on. So you can't, man, I'm not even gonna get into that. Okay, with these guys saying it ain't that. This is what it is, whether you believe it or not. Okay, does it make the faith without effect? No. God forbid. Let the Most High be true and every man a liar. We've broken this down to you so you can get the understanding. And we're showing you in real time what's going on. All right, shows you all of this. Okay, all this information, something written in there. When you go up, it said it was as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Okay, And it's not an individual antichrist. There are many antichrists, the scriptures say. It's part of the thinking that you'll now be an antichrist if you take this image of the beast. I'm going to take this image, the mark of the image of the beast. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. Don't take it if I have to say it literally and plainly. Some people you got like, was he saying to take it or not take it? We're clearly saying not to take it. Okay, this gets you judgment from Revelation the 14th chapter. Okay, and it goes on throughout the chapters breaking it down. Okay, and what happens even if you don't take it from Revelation the 20th chapter. So anyway, Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, to the next one, Shalom.